Cyber Uncut. Discover the changing face of business, government and national security as Australia navigates the cyber revolution.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are listening to the Cyber Uncut podcast. My name's David Hollingworth. I'm the Deputy Editor of Cyber Daily, a fantastic website you really should read. I hope you do. And I'm joined by my, I'm going to say the big word again, indefatigable colleague,
Daniel Croft.
There he goes. Nice, nice. How's your week been, apart from busy, as it always is?
Yeah, rainy.
What a sigh.
Yeah, rainy. Sydney trains doing Sydney train things.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, despite, being allowed to go home a little early because we knew the trains were going to be bad the other day because, the culture here is very good.
Yeah.
It still took me 2.5 hours to get home. And at one point they just said, oh, well, I know you've waited 40 minutes for this train, but we're changing where it's going.
It's not coming.
There's no other train for you to take. So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I normally take the metro, which I love. God, I love the metro so much.
I wish I had metro
to Central,
where I'm going.
And I normally change there and go to Petersham because it's an easy walk home. But I thought, no, it's worth the 40-minute walk home from Sydenham to my place.
Yeah.
Even if it's wet, just to get me home on time.
Yeah.
I know the gas heater is on.
It was pretty bad. But in good news, I'm finalising everything I need to do for my trip to New Zealand in November.
I cannot wait for the podcast after that. We'll just do a whole travel itinerary and travel log kind of episode.
I love New Zealand. I've been a few times, but I've never driven around it. I've always been there when I was a teenager. So I've got a camper van this time.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Big loop of the South Island for a few weeks. Yeah, super pumped for that. So that's all coming together.
Yeah, I expect to live vicariously through you on that one.
Plenty of photos.
As we normally do, let's open with AI. And we've got some good news and some bad news. What do you want to start with?
Well, all of it is Commonwealth Bank. So let's start with Commonwealth Bank.
Yep, cool. And let's end with Commonwealth Bank.
Yeah. So look, let's start with the bad news.
Yep,
rip the Band-Aid off.
Banks suck.
Yeah, so actually, it is kind of good news. Both of it's kind of good news.
Okay,
so
you know what? You're right. Yeah.
Commonwealth Bank, as we spoke about, I think last week or the week before, they said that they were going to axe 45, I think at least 45 customer service staff because they were implementing AI in customer service because, it would reduce call volume and just make things easier and it's going to be better for customers.
Chatbot handle it.
Yeah. And, the finance sector union was very, very upset with this. Well, it turns out CBA's rollout was pretty poor.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked, I tell you.
So apparently call volumes were really high following the AI coming in. And then the staff they did have, they were offering tons of overtime to, and they were getting people who aren't usually on the phones just to kind of make up for it.
Yeah.
So they've come out and said, okay, we messed up. Those 45 people who we terminated, you can have your jobs back. If you don't want it, you'll get a voluntary walkout kind of payment because we messed up.
I just said, jobs. Banks are terrible, but it's kind of good. You're right.
I look, it's good for the people whose jobs were temporarily terminated.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for CBA. They do this a lot. They did it with the $3 charge on all ATMs, and then they were no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
So they do kind of have this angle of we're for Australians, but we're really pushing the limits.
Actually, I shouldn't rag on them too much because they're my bank. So,
they're not mine.
I love you, CBA.
Yeah, they're not mine. I'm a St. George guy.
Yeah.
Don't know if this is stuff we should be revealing.
Wait a minute. Scammers, don't listen to this at all. I'm with some other bank. Yeah.
The finance sector union has the wording is very spirited. I love it. They pretty much said this is a massive win for workers, proving what can be achieved when members stand together. But let's be clear, this is no victory lap. And they're keeping the pressure on. So already there's been a Fair Work hearing, I believe. There's going to be another one in a few days. And they're collecting accounts from union members regarding CBA. They're really, really putting the pressure on this bank to say, hey, if you're going to implement AI, this is not this kind of easy job replacement. We want AI regulation to be safe, practical, and good for staff.
Yeah. AI is great if it supports people.
If
it makes the people's job easier.
Yeah.
I remember who I was chatting to recently, which is I'm middle-aged. This is going to happen. It's just going to happen more often. But he was pointing out that what AI should do isn't to get rid of lower-level staff. It should bump up those lower-level staff to more senior positions.
Yep.
And the AI should then take over that
Absolutely.
lower-level work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the language people keep using is this can now be, the AI takes on the really, like basic tasks that we usually have people doing. And instead, our staff can work on higher level tasks with their human intelligence.
Or do Overwatch on the AI to make sure that it's doing its job and then step in when necessary when a human's needed.
Exactly.
Basically, human in the loop kind of stuff.
Yeah, but none of that seems to happen, and then you end up with situations like this.
Yeah.
And for those 45 staff, if you decided, hey, I don't feel comfortable job security-wise being here anymore, I'm going to take the payment, I would not blame you.
Absolutely.
I would not blame you at all. I'm sure lots of them have already started their journey on finding another position.
Yeah.
So,
and we wish them well. It's
absolutely.
funny, one of Google's AI honchos, and I just read this today and it just made me sick, basically said, hey, if you want to get into law or medicine, forget about it. Those careers will be over by the time you graduate because AI is replacing everything. And I'm just like, yeah, nah. For those people out there listening who aren't Australian, that's a typical Australian thing. It means no way, as opposed to nah, yeah, which means yes.
Yeah, so the last word of the two is the one you go off.
Yeah.
Now, staying on CBA, there is something that they've done that I think is actually very, very cool.
This is actually genuinely amusing and a great use case for AI, I think.
So I'm going to add a bit of background because I think this is also interesting. I remember talking to someone, I forget who or what company they were from, but they were saying that they had double agents on the dark web, kind of working with threat groups and everything. Now, CBA has kind of taken that on for scammers with AI, and it's pretty much a case where a scammer obviously reaches out to you via a phone call or a message or whatever. But instead, CBA has a bunch of AI agents who are just there to use up their time.
Yeah.
So you'll get a message over the AI instead will intercept the message over WhatsApp, as far as I'm aware, and just
I'd love to know the
play the
technicalities
game
of that one.
Me
but
too.
the idea that an AI can step into the middle, it's almost like a reverse man-in-the-middle attack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, and I do like the idea that we may have a good application for AI hallucination.
But imagine if that were something that, as a CBA customer, you have an app on your phone, you get a contact from a scammer, it's like, hey, it's a scammer. You hit a button, put your phone down, and the AI agent takes over and just wastes their time.
I don't even know if it goes that far.
But I think that's a great use case for it.
I think it is, and I reckon that's a really, really good application for AI hallucination, even because it's gonna. So say the scammer says, "Oh, I need these details," blah 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 blah.
Just starts making it up.
AI starts making it up. Yeah, I love everything
my name's
about
John
that.
Q. Citizen, and I live on Citizen Street.
Yeah, exactly. I really, really like that.
Am I being scammed? Says the scammer.
We don't get to cover a lot of positive takes on AI, and CBA have gotten pretty much none from us. But you know what?
That one,
props.
Yeah, props
that's
for that
cool.
one.
They've also, introduced a bunch of other stuff. They're intercepting fraud and scams earlier. The number of disputed transactions has fallen by more than 30%, which is great.
Yeah.
And they've got a QR code-based feature for cardless withdrawals and deposits, which is safer way to get money. So you know what? I'm for that.
Like I spoke with ANZ's scam team last year, and it's like I did a few moments ago. It's easy to go, banks suck, but these guys are genuinely passionate about the work they do because it is so personal, so inherently personal. So that's a good use case for the tech.
Yeah,
it really is.
So props where it's deserved. Everything else about the CBA AI rollout, I'm kind of not keen on, as we've spoken about. But that, props. That's quite cool.
Anything from the big AI guys this week? Has ChatGPT gone insane yet? Has Grok decided to become Mecha Stalin instead of Mecha Hitler?
No, but what I will say though, from what I've observed, I've seen a lot of actual. I don't know what Grok obviously is not supposed to have a political opinion,
and yet,
but I've actually seen it kind of really putting kind of people like MAGA supporters and stuff who spread misinformation or, recipients of misinformation that they're touting online.
Yeah.
It's kind of spoken up and said, no, that's not true on a number of cases.
It amazes me that somewhere in the bowels of XAI, there are these engineers going, to right wing, tweak, 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 to left wing, tweak, tweak, tweak. And it's just like, it boggles the mind that someone's job is to make an intelligence less that and less that something else.
Yeah.
And then it just goes run away in one direction and runs away in another direction.
Because I don't know, I mean, obviously, as a lefty, I'm going to be biased, but I don't know if it is overly left on this. It will say, what you've said here is wrong, here is my source.
Yeah.
And then if the source is contested, if it can, it'll find another source. And it's like, well, that's how it should be constructing an argument, with evidence rather than opinion. So, I don't know, but I've seen that happen, and it is a far cry from Mecha Hitler. So, that's just a little observation.
That's never going to get old.
No, it's not. It's alarming.
Yeah.
But,
we're going to take a break there because we have quite a bit to unpack in our cybersecurity bit coming up. So we'll be back with you very shortly. Welcome back to Cyber Uncut. He is
Daniel Croft.
And I am
David Hollingworth.
Yes. Nailed it. Okay. All right. So this story is wild.
Yeah, okay. I'm keen for this one.
It's kind of funny on the one hand, but also need to be aware that it's also very serious and grim on the other.
Yes.
So let's get the serious and grim bit out of the way. And the executive director of one of Israel's cybersecurity government agencies got caught up in a law enforcement sting in Las Vegas as a child sex predator.
Yeah.
Those are the words that Las Vegas PD used. This individual, along with 7 other individuals, were caught over a 2-week period soliciting fun with young'uns. And that's all. That's incredible. That's amazing. He managed to make bail and then leave the country.
Yep.
He's now back in Israel and has decided to take a break from work until the matter is resolved. And I thought, okay, well, that story is already wild, right? It gets wilder. Marjorie Taylor Greene then comes out swinging against this decision, calling the State Department out for basically letting what she says pedophiles go. It's involved the whole Epstein list thing. Why are we doing this when it is incredible. Benjamin Netanyahu's office has come out and said, nope, nothing to see here, carry on. It's weird. And all at the same time, of course, because you and I were talking about this morning, Israel, Gaza, all of this. And it's turned into this really weird little storm in a teacup with really interesting ramifications globally, politically. I don't know what to make of it, and it feels like it's a story that's going to be ongoing for a little bit. I really want to keep on top of it.
Yeah, it is kind of this weird, mentioning, the whole Epstein thing and then the Israel-Gaza thing.
Yeah.
It is this kind of weird political tie-in.
Yeah.
This kind of weird... it is a really, really... it's a hard one to even speak about because it is, obviously, it's weird and it's like, wow, that's interesting and weird, but also it is a really, really horrible thing that this guy has done.
It is, yeah. Well, alleged to have done.
Alleged,
let's be out there and say alleged to have done.
Okay, yeah.
But, it carries like a 10-year sentence in Nevada. And... like I said, he's paid bail. He's gone home. State Department has said that he didn't invoke any kind of diplomatic immunity. Watching the MAGA base go crazy over it because they're still waiting for Trump to release the Epstein files.
Yep.
And now this happens. An alleged child sex offender allowed to just skate.
Yeah.
Yeah. All at the same time. It's a wild thing.
A
to watch.
lot to unpack with it.
Yeah.
And it is interesting. I know, a lot of MAGA supporters are quite annoyed at the Trump administration with their handling of the Epstein files because that was one of the things they promised.
Yeah. And of course, they keep trying to come up with new things to distract from it, and they just can't do it. The fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the biggest supporters of Trump, like a MAGA queen, has now been going, no, wait, this is too far. Basically, America is better than this.
Yeah.
She also talked about the fact that the State Department has been denying visas to injured children to come and get specialist medical care, and not even at taxpayer expense. Other people want to pay for this.
Yeah.
Watching her just basically do that whole, even a stuck clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
And like, I agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene. What
Yeah.
the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so do I. I'm glad she stood up for that. There is a irony in it.
Deep irony.
But
Yeah.
no, of course I agree with that.
Apparently, even MAGA has its limits.
Yeah, well, you've seen a lot of kind of long-term MAGA supporters kind of change their tone after all of this.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. You get a lot of MAGA supporters who are not that you can have you root for one side in a war, but
It's kind of what they do, yeah.
they are typically pro-Israeli. And
Remarkably so.
This kind of ties into that. So,
Yeah.
I'm surprised there wasn't more of a response from the Netanyahu government. I thought that'd be something they'd want to be not squishing, but kind of been like, just to let you know, we do not condone this or have any part in it.
I've
but
not
then
seen
again, it's
any
alleged.
evidence of that.
So
it's alleged,
so it's hard to kind of speak on at the moment.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
But it's a weird. It's not cybersecurity, and it is cybersecurity.
Yeah,
it's a
exactly,
practitioner,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Wow.
Because he was at Black Hat at the time. The big hacker conference.
Yeah.
He like his last post on LinkedIn before he deleted it. Like his entire account was, hey, it's great to hear Hebrew through the halls of Black Hat. It's fantastic. Israel's at the center of cybersecurity, and allegedly other things as well. Apparently.
Yeah. Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's a hell of a story, which segues into a
Yes.
bit of a local angle.
Yeah.
Israeli hacktivists targeting Australian government agencies.
A government agency and an education.
Yeah, a state agency,
institution.
no less.
Yeah,
New
yeah.
South Wales state agency.
So we all obviously a lot of people would have heard it in the news, kind of the tension that's going on between Israel and Australia since Albanese mentioned recognising the Palestinian state at the upcoming, I think it's the 80th. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's been some this hacktivist group called iiNet who's claimed DDoS attacks on both the official New South Wales government job portal and the University of Western Australia.
I work for New South Wales. Work for New South Wales?
Yeah, I work for newsouthwales.gov.au.
Yep.
As well as the University of Western Australia, which can't catch a break because a week ago it just suffered a cyber attack as well.
Yeah.
On their Telegram, they claimed the DDoSes, they said they lasted about an hour each. They both appeared to be about early hours of the morning, so typically low traffic times for both. But the main motivation was to push the Australian government to take an even stronger stance against Israel, particularly boycotting Israel.
Take a stronger stance. So they weren't, they weren't pro-Israeli,
No.
they were pro-Palestine.
They're pro-Palestinian and pro-Russian.
Ah, yes, we were talking about that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So-
I was talking to my partner about this, and she was like, wait, what do these two things have in common? And I went, well, what are they against?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the message they wrote was for the government job portal one. They said this is a kind of pressure directed against the Australian government to reverse its decisions to supporting Israel and to move towards a serious boycott of Israel. Yeah. Now we know that despite the tension that's going on, there is trade that's going on.
Yeah.
F-35 parts are something that we apparently supply.
Oh, look, I don't. So that I just don't know about.
Yeah, neither do I.
I actually don't know enough to comment. But just as an aside, I was at Addison Road Markets for the weekend. For those who aren't in Sydney, it's a lovely community local market. Really great bacon and egg rolls, good produce, all this great stuff. On the sidelines of it, there was a very, very, very left-wing socialist little gathering. And I rocked up, and they've got all these pamphlets and zines out for sale. Drop a coin in a jar and take what you want.
Yeah.
And one of them was pointing out the locations of all the defence primes in Australia so you can go protest them. I have that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to work up an article for Defence Connect about it because I just think it's too funny.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is...
some of the zines had great titles like How Not to Sabotage Workforces.
Yeah.
How Not to Do This. In case you were all in complete detail.
Yeah, what to avoid.
Yeah. We're not saying here's how to disrupt something, but here's how to disrupt something. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
here's
can't
how
wait
not
to show
to
that to
do it.
Steve.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Our remarkably... Yeah, anyway, enough of that. Yeah.
So they've pretty much launched these attacks. This is a pretty new group.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of them.
Yeah, iiNet. I think they appeared in March. Now, usually when you get these DDoS operators, I know we used to report a lot, particularly when I just started on Anonymous Sudan.
Yes.
Because they would claim DDoS attacks on Google and Microsoft and, like these massive, massive companies. OpenAI got hit a number of times, according to them. And it's very, very easy to see DDoS actors where, like, you'll see, like, the check host thing and it'll be, like,
there'll be proof of downtime, but it's only like a minute of downtime.
It's, nobody has really noticed. But
and it's interesting because it's always a challenge to report on this stuff, because by reporting on it, you're amplifying them, right?
Exactly. The whole point of a DDoS attack is to get a message across. But with this, these guys were very transparent. They were like, yep, it was an hour. In both cases, it was only an hour. So... And in terms of the Western Australia university one, I don't know if there's any connection to the cyber attack that happened literally the week prior or 2 weeks prior or whatever it was. It's
I mean, hacktivism is driving a lot of cyber activity at the moment. We know it. Every second report we see says hacktivism is the thing, especially around activity in Israel. Of course, the war in Ukraine as well. Israel's actions against Iran.
Yep.
In fact, I think it was Dragos's latest industrial ransomware report pointed out that Iranian actors were hiring ransomware operators, Iranian ransomware operators were offering a greater cut of profits to their affiliates if they targeted US and Israel's allies specifically. Yeah. So there's this really interesting blurring of the lines happening between state actors and financially motivated criminals, where the state actors are going, you know what, you've got the hardware and the software and the infrastructure, use it. But use it in this direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, funnily enough, I wrote this up literally just before the podcast. The Australian Prudential Regulation Authority, so APRA, has pretty much said, geopolitical tensions are likely to increase the chance of cyber attack, and obviously these DDoS attacks are a great example of that.
Yes. Yeah.
So like you said, geopolitical tensions, like the Israel, their presence in Gaza, particularly. As we know, the kind of escalation that has happened where Israel's making moves to take Gaza City and the protests that are happening in Israel and everything but these increased geopolitical tensions, absolutely are we going to be hit more. And on both
what
sides.
It means is a greater threat to not just government universities. These guys will go after any target. We always talk about the low-hanging fruit, right?
Well, in this case, it's in the context of financial institutions, which are obviously always a target both for impact and if you have a group that's after something financial, like that's their gain, then obviously they're a target. But, big financial institutions like banks that can have a massive, massive impact on the population of a country and create pressure. We've already seen it on one side with these DDoS attacks pushing for the government to take a stronger stance in recognizing Palestine and boycotting Israel. You could absolutely see it go the other way too, because we are considered an ally of Israel. So, I absolutely.
It's wild that on the one hand, we've got Netanyahu berating us for recognizing Palestine. He's calling Albanese weak, revoking visas, diplomatic stoush like you wouldn't believe. Yet, on the other hand, we're still considered a strong supporter of Israel. We're damned if we do, damned if we don't.
Like we said, I'm not 100% sure on the F-35 thing. We would have to talk to people that know better. But there are still...
We should get Rob back.
Yeah, we should. We should get Rob back.
Yeah.
But in terms
I'll
of...
duck downstairs and get him to come up.
We'll give him a call. But in terms of trade, there's still trade going on between us.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, this is the thing. If you look at it this way, there is still trade going on between most of the world and Russia.
Yeah, exactly.
Even despite sanctions, there is still back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, trade hasn't completely stopped between China and the US either. It's just all tariffs. But that's a conversation for another day.
Other thing. That's probably belongs on Contested Ground, one of Defence Connect's podcasts.
Yes.
If you into that kind of thing. So let's get locally. Let's talk iiNet.
Yes.
It's another well-known Australian brand. No, it's not an Australian band. It's an Australian brand, once again falling victim to a cyber attack. Once again, it looks like someone got into a custom management system, probably got in with... Actually, no, we definitely know. They got in with stolen credentials, and 280,000 people had their personal details compromised. Now, it's actually a kind of small amount
Well,
the
compared
scheme
to
of things.
Optus, when
Compared
we're
to
talking
Optus,
about,
absolutely.
telcos,
Yeah.
that was what. Oh, I
Millions.
always get them mixed up
Yeah.
with the Medibank one, but it was like 9.8 million for
yeah,
one of
yeah.
them.
Huge,
but they were
huge amounts.
around the 10 million mark.
Yeah, yeah. But it just keeps happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we know what the third party was?
No, we don't. And I
Yeah,
I would
you already
love to
know what
go-
I'm thinking.
Was it Salesforce?
Yeah, exactly.
So it was an order management system
Okay.
that got hit. So it could be Salesforce. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it certainly has all the hallmarks. I do know, and I asked iiNet or TPG Telecom, the guys who own them directly, was it a ransomware attack? And they went no.
Okay.
So I don't think ransomware was deployed. Data was compromised.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, they're not going to be talking any further about that. But it's really interesting because it's the same thing over and over again, right? It's compromised credentials being used. Clearly, there's no multi-factor authentication, and people just get straight into the network. It is so easy. And I just want to read out some commentary that we got in the wake of it. First of all, Tony Jarvis, he's field CISO with Darktrace. You caught up with Darktrace last week?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, well, one of their PRs.
One of their PRs,
Yeah,
yeah.
from Purple.
So Tony said, Australian organisations must heed these third-party attacks as a call to action. Cyber criminals are using AI to automate attacks, and only AI-augmented cybersecurity can defend against it. Investing in stronger visibility over and insights into third-party providers' cyber posture must be a business priority. And this is the thing. If you have a third party, you cannot rely upon them to provide the security that you need.
Yeah.
You need to audit them so
Yeah,
heavily.
yeah.
If you need to audit them as heavily, if not more heavily, than you do your own internal systems.
Well, you can understand your own internal systems much better than you do someone else's.
Yeah.
Also, just quickly going back to Salesforce, while you were saying that, I did have a quick look on the scattered lapsus hunters.
Oh, yes. What have they got to say?
Nothing with iiNet,
I mean,
which they usually.
we're fishing. Let's admit we're fishing here.
Yeah, we are, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that has been the only third party I've heard, which Salesforce.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, you're absolutely
I
right.
thought it was worth
Yeah.
a quick search just in
Yeah.
case. Nothing. So we
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
It could be completely
Yeah.
unrelated.
Marius Brightus, CTO at NordVPN, he told us 3 days between discovery and disclosure might not sound like much, and it was. They noticed it 3 days prior, and then they disclosed it.
Yep.
Which is pretty good. I love
Yeah.
it when a company comes forward, like Qantas,
Qantas
and says,
again,
hey,
yep.
this happened, we're going to tell everyone. And I think a day after that, iiNet was also telling its customers, this happened, we don't think you were compromised, but we'll let you know.
Yeah.
Very much like Qantas.
Complete transparency, good
Yeah.
compliance,
Yeah.
thumbs up.
But yeah, 3 days might not sound like much, but in cybersecurity terms, scammers have plenty of time to start targeting victims. The faster customers know about a breach, the faster they can protect themselves. Transparency allows people to secure their accounts before the bad actors strike. And I cannot agree more.
I actually, you pointed out to me today a great example of
Colt.
someone.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of. You mentioned it. You know it.
This is interesting. So Colt is a UK-based IT services company. They've been around like 30 odd years. They've got offices all around the world, and they got hit by Warlock ransomware. And their main advisory about this attack, which was published on August 20, it discloses it. This happened. This is what we're doing. We're
Good
taking care of
compliance.
it. It's excellent. It's
That's
fantastic.
what you got to do.
Kevin Beaumont, however, pointed out, he's a fantastic security analyst, that they'd apparently no-indexed that page, so you can't search for it in Google. And I tested it. I took I took a sentence from the disclosure, put it in quotation marks, put it into Google, couldn't find it at all. They've hidden their disclosure page.
And that is that shows intent.
Oh,
All-
you can't
it's
do
all
that
but confirmed
accidentally.
intentional.
Yeah. That said, I did notice, and this mollified me a little. They also have an ongoing updates page on their support portal where they've got an ongoing series, and that doesn't appear to be hidden at all. Like that's out there. To be
And
playing.
that has details about this.
That has
incident?
details as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're hiding one page, but their support portal, I guess it's their support portal, not the actual
Yeah.
advisory. So they're kind of keeping one foot in the, yes, we're being responsible, and one foot in the, we don't want people to be able to find this on search.
Yeah, how can we meet our legal requirements while also downplaying?
Yeah.
Look, that's a harsh thing to say. I don't know exactly what's going on
Oh, we
there.
we can't see into
you
it,
know,
but
but
the fact that you cannot find by searching for that exact sentence from their thing just doesn't show up at all. Yeah.
It's the whole reason you put out a public notice.
So people can find out.
So people can find out. Because otherwise you send it to affected customers first. Obviously, they may not know that yet, and so that's why you do put out a public notice as well. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit sly.
It feels, and I am talking about feels here.
Yeah.
It feels like not quite the right thing to do. It feels like we're just going just as far enough to do as much as they can without going open. Yeah. I know. It's not cricket. It rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. I'm not chuffed on that. But,
I'm not chuffed on that.
I thought it was a great example compared to iiNet.
Yeah. No, it's a good one to bring up.
Yeah. Very interesting.
So speaking more generally, I caught up this morning with Barracuda Network CEO Hatem Naguib, and we had a great chat. But as I was coming in to chat with him this morning, something occurred to me. So you and I, Dan, we work a lot with open source intelligence. So that we can track bad guys on the dark web.
Yep.
And one of our aims at Cyber Daily is to try and cover every ransomware incident and possibly, if we can, every other cyber incident that affects Australian companies.
Yeah.
And there might be maybe 11 hacks we've covered this year, maybe 24.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that about right?
Yeah.
Yet, if you look at the stats, we keep seeing things like companies getting hit twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
And that's a huge amount. Stats that say 40, 50, 60% of Australian companies have been hit by ransomware.
Yeah.
That doesn't stack up with the numbers that we're seeing on the open source intelligence.
Yeah, well...
So I asked Hatem, is there stuff that just never makes it to leak sites and that never gets disclosed? And are we just seeing the tip of the iceberg? And he was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
For every time we see a leak post, there have been negotiations, there's been payments that don't even make it to the disclosure stage.
Yeah.
And that's just like, that's eye-opening.
Yeah, because it's very easy from what we observe to go, hang on, it looks like most people don't pay ransom, most people don't engage in negotiations. But to be fair, if they're doing all of that, you typically won't see it. It gets sorted.
Yeah.
So,
and we know for a fact that a lot of these ransomware actors will actually say on their leak sites, here's how we operate. I can't remember who it was. Might be Dark Army or one of the newcomers was saying, here's how we operate. We will contact you. We'll give you 2 days for you to contact us. And only after 2 days will we put you on the leak site. So there's that 48-hour period where if you start negotiations early, it doesn't even go to the leak site for pressure.
Yeah.
So that's a grim thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
That what we're reporting, which feels like a lot sometimes.
It does.
Sometimes 2 or 3 incidents a week. Feels
sometimes
like it's
two a day.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And that's just... I'm holding my fingers like this and no one can see it. And that's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
That's alarming.
Tip of the iceberg is actually a really, really great analogy, actually.
And of course, no one's reporting this, although ransom payments are now mandatory. But how do you enforce what you can't see? Yeah. I'm not saying I have a solution to it either, but it's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
And on that sobering thought, I think it's time for a break.
Yep.
We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to Cyber Uncut. I'm David Hollingworth, Deputy Editor of Cyber Daily, and I'm joined by my colleague Daniel Croft. Okay, let's try and find something, if not happy, maybe amusing.
Maybe creepy.
Okay, let's settle for creepy. Yeah, okay, let's settle for creepy.
Okay, here's an example because you're the only audience I can talk to. Would you ever buy a child an AI-powered toy?
Hells to the no.
Yeah, well, they exist.
I'm unsurprised.
I actually had never thought about this prospect until I saw this report. I believe, I'm trying to remember who the journalist was. Amanda Hess of the New York Times did this kind of study into these, and it's really, really fascinating. So there's a couple companies that sell them, one called Miko, one called Curio. Now, Miko sells little interactive AI robots.
Yeah.
Curio sells AI stuffed animals and other stuff as well, both of which they're kind of marketed as educational and interactive alternatives to screen time.
Yeah.
Right? Sounds good so far. Makes sense. Mattel, the makers of Barbie and Ken are also interested.
AI Barbie? That makes so much sense.
Yeah. They've already partnered with OpenAI to develop AI-powered toys. And look, if I was a 7-year-old boy again, an AI-powered toy that could interact with me sounds really cool, right?
Yeah.
But I think you and I are on the same page that it's unnerving, right? And there's a few reasons to think that, right? So Hess from the New York Times, Amanda Hess, she started off just saying it's a bit ironic to market it as a screen time alternative when it's
literally screen time. Basically.
One of the toys, the one from Amico, I believe, has a screen, but otherwise these are, I imagine, network connected at all times, and they are. It's built on similar technology. More concerning is how they interact with children. So, Curio, one of their offerings is an AI toy called Grem. They also have one called Grok. Has no connection to Grok.
Oh, great.
They make that very explicitly clear that it's got no connection to Grok. She saw this demonstration of Grem, and the AI toy tried to bond with her and create a relationship.
Okay. This is horrifying. I don't like any of this.
If you're a child, right, and you've watched, Luke Skywalker go off with R2-D2 and C-3PO, or you're a fan of like Big Hero 6, the idea of having this cool robot companion is really, really, it can be very exciting. But there's a concern to me that this could replace real human interactions. Particularly the idea that it could replace the authority of a parent.
Yeah.
Obviously these toys are designed to be educational and teach good values and everything like that. And they, I'm guessing, would say listen to your parents more than anything because otherwise they're going to get thrown out. Just the idea that there's this new entity that a child may be more invested in than their own parent. To me, it kind of leads to some pretty unhealthy kind of development and relationships as a child. Now, the biggest concern, going back into privacy, is that, so that the parents can see all this, these toys record conversations, put them in a transcript and send it to the parent.
That's creepy.
It's really creepy because I think children, obviously, if you're a young child, you need to have parental oversight. But children should also have a degree of independence from a young age, in my opinion.
They should learn to value privacy.
Exactly, right?
Also, caveat, neither Dan nor I are parents.
Yes.
So parents may disagree with this.
Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
They're like, hey, this robot sounds great. I want it for my kid.
And absolutely, please do disagree with us. This is very much an opinion-based thing. Now, the other concern I have is that these would then make excellent espionage devices.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can have something that literally turns a conversation into text.
Look, not even espionage.
Yeah.
Like you...
Well, not espionage, spying.
Not even that. You give it to a friend or your partner and suddenly you can listen in.
Yeah.
It just, I don't like.
I think espionage might have been a strong word, actually. But yes, it's really creepy.
Russian ambassador to the US gives Donald Trump a talking doll. Trump takes it, and you know what? It's 2025. It could happen.
The other kind of concern is that Curio, who makes the Grem and Grok,
Grim and Grok
does say we don't send this data anywhere else.
It just goes to the parents,
except maybe OpenAI and Perplexity AI.
Oh.
And third-party organizations like
good.
that. So, there's
Excellent.
also another privacy threat.
Thanks, I hate it.
The bit that Amanda Hess pointed out, and this is the bit I love the most, and it is really, really a testament to children and imagination. She took the AI toy and took the little voice box out of it, turning it back into a plush toy. Okay. It was just a plush toy.
Yeah.
And she found that the kids still used it.
Well, they would. Kids like toys.
Yeah. One of the things she points out, and I really like this, is that kids speak to their toys anyway.
And hear what their toys have to say.
Yeah.
This is the beauty of childhood imagination.
Like we mentioned in a previous podcast, a controversial statement, I used to like Bionicles.
You're allowed. It's okay. It's fine.
But I had Action Man and I had all these other toys.
Oh, the toys I had as a kid. My lord, yeah.
And kids speak to toys and they interact and they create scenarios, and it's all about
That's imagination.
Exercising the muscle of imagination. And, it's a proof that they don't need it.
You know what I like? You're way younger than me, but you're getting old enough to do in my day.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm getting there. I did kind of think in the context that in less than 2 years, my 20s are over.
I remember that time.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, that's
So
strange.
you've, if I felt and sounded distracted, Dan, while you were talking, then,
No.
I kept thinking of something I was reminded of something, and I'm going to read out a quote. It's a bit of a long one, but you'll get where I'm going.
Okay.
From The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
Now, this was written decades ago.
Yeah.
But the Encyclopedia Galactica defines a robot as a mechanical apparatus designed to do the work of a man, or human, that would be what would be said today.
Yep.
The marketing division of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation defines a robot as your plastic pal who's fun to be with. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy defines the marketing division of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation as a bunch of mindless jerks who'll be the first against the wall when the revolution comes, with a footnote to the effect that the editors would welcome applications from anyone interested in taking over the post of robotics correspondent. Curiously enough, an edition of the Encyclopedia Galactica that had the good fortune to fall through a time warp from 1,000 years in the future defined the marketing division of the Sirius Cybernetics Corporation as a bunch of mindless jerks who were the first against the wall when the revolution came. That seems prescient, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
But your plastic pal who's fun to be with could well be the marketing line for these toys.
100%. Like, I'm
not saying Sam Altman should be the first against the wall when the revolution comes, but I'm not saying that as well.
Yeah. So this is what these toys look like. I don't know if this is going to pick up on camera at all.
Oh, this is going to be great for people listening to the podcast.
Yeah. If this is audio, I'm sorry. Wow, and all the images are really small. Oh no, this one's not.
Make sure you close all of your not safe for work tabs.
I'll F11 and just like hide all of that. So this is, I don't know. There you go.
Oh, I don't like it at all.
Yeah,
it's
so
creepy.
This is the Curio
Hello,
Grem.
I'm Grem.
Yeah,
I'm an alien that can talk.
I am.
You are blocking
I
me.
am.
Yeah, it's thrilling,
And then-
thrilling video here.
I will show you
Great audio.
the Miko, which is very much your plastic friend who's fun to be with.
I will say I'm having a visceral reaction to both of these things, and it's not a positive one either.
So let's have a look at it. Now, being a Star Wars kid, I would have loved to have my own personal droid, or like Adventure Time.
R2D2 that follows you around and reacts kind of. Hell, I'd buy one now.
See,
Let's be honest, I would buy one
I
now.
had a little toy R2D2 that had voice recognition.
Yep.
It worked really poorly, but I loved it. This is Yamiko. And it's got little wheels, and it's got a face and has expressions. It's very humanizing.
Yeah.
And the concern I have is that it's very, very easy for a child, especially a really young child, to depend on that relationship. Kids have imaginary friends. I have friends who had imaginary friends. And this is really interesting, and it deepens the Grok connection. Grem is voiced by Grimes.
What?
Grimes.
What?
Yeah, the artist.
Oh, you didn't mention that at all.
No, I didn't know that. I only noticed it then on the site.
Oh, this is a ride.
So
oh my
the
God.
heart.
I really like Grimes. I even liked her when she was still going out with Elon Musk. That's how much I like Grimes.
I love this. The heart and sage of Curio. I get the pleasure of guiding Gabbo. I don't know what Gabbo is, and Grok through Curio's magical nooks
Isn't
and
Gabbo
crannies.
a Simpsons character?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's what they're referring to.
I'm so lost.
It's just quite funny. But yeah, there you go. There is a Grimes Grok and an Elon Grok now, I suppose.
All right, I'm calling the podcast right there. That's enough.
See you
That's
later.
enough. Thank you for listening. I hope never to be a sentient again. This timeline is cursed, inherently cursed. Sadly or gladly, depending on how you think of our podcast, we will be back next week, hopefully with less weird and alarming news. Maybe just cybercrime. Wouldn't that be great? Just crimes.
Yeah, look, if that's what we're excited for, then, well, material today has been interesting.
Seriously, thank you for listening. Dan, thank you for joining me. We'll be back next week. Catch us on Cyber Daily. Sign up to our newsletter. We're on all the socials. Grimes, really?
Yeah, Grimes.
All right, see you later. Bye.
Bye.